Welcome back to the channel, guys. This is your girl, Wicked Raider 22. Just actually want to do a general account update. It's been a while. It's been quite a while since we've just kind of looked at how far we've made it in the game, where this account in particular has kind of made it. Honestly, I've been spending a nice amount of time on my pay to play account, likely because it's the only one that is hooked up to my mobile. Like I don't know. When people ask when and where do you play the most, my pay to play account probably 80% of the time I am on the cell phone with that one. That way I can set those battles and finish up and continue working through the day. I usually only play my free to play accounts when I'm at the PC. Now, why? Probably because I can't remember some of my login information, so I can switch from one account to the other. I know, I know. Don't pick on me, y'all. Don't pick on me. But I have been making progress. I've definitely been playing, and just to kind of give you an idea, if you are joining for the first time, we're actually almost at day 60. So we're waiting to get our login champ, Yaga the Insatiable, which honestly, this is not one of my favorite champions. I've actually used him for food on all of my other accounts. He is a 4-star champion though, so gives you virulent cleaver, attacks one enemy, has a 40% chance of placing a 5% poison debuff for 2 turns. This is an epic attack-based champion. He also does Hungering Plague, which second skill attacks one enemy 2 times. Each hit has a 50% chance of placing a 5% poison debuff for 2 turns. Kind of heavy, on the bookage there. Last but not least, Rot from Within attacks one enemy. Damage increases by 25% against targets under poison debuff. So you can get this down to a 4-turn cooldown. Honestly, across the board, by the time you pull Yaga the Insatiable, you probably have a single enemy attacker that can do what he's doing without the necessity of books. What I will do though, let's see if we can figure out where he falls. He's in Skinwalkers. So let's go in, and I just want to take a look at this one really quickly. We said he's a skinwalker, right? So Yaga the Insatiable. At first, I thought by the time I got here, I would be so excited to get him as a champion. I mean, aesthetically, he looks kind of cool. It reminds you of a couple of other champions of the game, definitely. But look at the ratings, and I'll be honest, I agree with the ratings. I, y'all, hey, you see what I see. You see it. But this is one of those champions that honestly, he just doesn't smack as hard as he should. You are 30 days into play. You have probably already pulled at least one legendary at this point. Most accounts have. Most of you guys have already pulled maybe 4 to 5 champions or earned them in campaign, which is something else. So that part of the login isn't as exciting. I will say though, for those who are trying to really encourage themselves, we receive High Katoon at 30 days, which I love that one. I was all about it. 60 days, and we could do a little bit better. But on my pay to play account, I just got my girl Dark Aethel, and oh my gosh, I am in love with her. I am in love with her right now. Honestly, I really wish they would switch these two out and she was your 60-day, because I can't imagine if you've had time to work with your legendary, you've had time to kind of build Hakatoon, and then you put that with a Dark Aethel. Oh my word. As a early gamer, that would really add to your ability for progression. The other one I'm really looking forward to is Seal the Drakes. I hear so much about Seal the Drakes. I have always wanted to just deal with a strong crowd controller and support champ. Everyone talks about her. You hear about her all the time, but just getting to that point is definitely a push. But 180 days, so we've got a long way to go, but being excited about it does pay off. I have been visiting the mine pretty often. It's going to take it a while. If you are not one of those who sees long-term, play with this particular game, the gym mind may not be worth it for you. But if you are logging in on a regular basis and, pulling those gyms before you reach your maxed out potential, it can definitely be a good one. The mine has actually come in clutch a couple of times where you only needed 3 or 4 more gyms to be able to pull. And I'll give you guys a glimpse as to what I'm doing with my gyms currently, which is why this number is staying pretty low. And I'm going to work on that one as well. But Wicked Raider was actually one of those accounts, the very first free to play account that I started after I did my pay to play. But in case you have not heard, and I'm going to say this a couple of times, I want you guys to hop on and join with me. I did go in and create my own clan. So Wicked Raider 22, if you type in 22WK, 22WK, you will definitely send that request to join the clan, and I am all about it. Guys, looking for active members that want to go in, especially doing Clan v Clan, and crush it. So if you are coming into the arena, coming into dungeons, just coming into a gameplay, and you want to have that interaction, I am here for it. You are welcome to message, and we can definitely talk back and forth just to share the struggles, if nothing else. I want to have at least those minimum 10 members so we can participate in Clan v Clan. So if you have a couple of accounts, don't forget to send that request, and we will definitely add you to the group. So far, I went in and added all of my accounts. You guys have seen Raven Raider 90 on a few accounts before. I pulled Wave Runner. I actually started this account just to kind of see what champions I would pull. And I'll be honest, depending on when you come into the game, this is a huge game changer. Like the champions that you access, and being that you have over 1,000 champions to go through, managing 4 accounts can be a tricky one, of course, but it does give me the opportunity to really go in and expose myself to a higher number of champions while still extending that gameplay. Now, I do want to go in and kind of pick a couple of quests. If you are in a clan and you have not been doing quests for the clan specifically, I would definitely encourage you guys to do that one. If I am a starting champion, for example, coming in and finding what I consider to be the easiest for my team to obtain is going to be a big one. Usually forging artifacts is a good one, but if you take a look, guess what? We've gotten there. It's one of those that we could definitely do. So I think as far as clan quests, we may take the forge one off their hands. So craft 5 artifacts, shield in the forge. So I think I'll sign up to take that one. And then I normally try to at least sign up for 2 to 3 at a time. I want to say 3 is your max, but a lot of these you will get to just in your regular gameplay. So that's going to be another one as well. Some of these now are more specific. So for example, this one is for skinwalkers in particular. You're going to get them up to rank 5. Here's another one I could probably do is 5 uncommon champions to rank 3, because we rank champions pretty often. So I will take those 2, and you can do 3 per week, and we will make it happen. Now, champion update is going to be the next one. I know you guys have seen the list is growing on this account. And one thing that I definitely want to do is go through and kind of do a reduction. So that's going to be the next step. We only have 1 6-star champion. It's about time to start making decisions as to who we're going to keep and who we will not. And some of these I struggle with because I like them for different reasons. I'm holding on to them for different reasons. And if you've ever had to take a champion from 4 to 5 or from 5 to 6 stars, this is where it gets kind of tough. One of my latest additions is my girl Flyja, I think is how they pronounce it. I'm kind of liking this champion. She's turned into a baby nuker and just a good overall kind of attack support for the teams that I've been putting her in. I've used her in arena, which is one area I kind of like her in. She does come with some nice reviews. I want to say I did a video on her. I'll go back and definitely check. If not, she will certainly have a video coming soon if she does not already. But Flyja was a random shard pool. One of those epics that's, is she going to be a just huge account changer? Likely not. But there were some definite areas on this particular account where she's made, she's allowed for progression overall. So I can enjoy that one as well. I'm still developing my love for Apothecary. So holding on to my guy. I'm going to be reworking because, guys, the biggest limiter on any free to play account, if you look over here, it is absolutely the quality of artifacts. That has been a true struggle with me, is placing the type of gear on my champions that I have, for example, where I've been able to acquire on my free to play. So I have to spend a lot more time in dungeons. I definitely want to spend some more time with masteries, but my next big push is to acquire a team of 4 that are all 6-star. So it's kind of what I'm picking, like who's going to be my number 1 support, who's going to be my nuker, who's going to be my defensive. Just trying to figure out what kind of team I could put together and be happiest with. I am still rolling with my girl Life Taker. I have enjoyed her on this particular account, still building and pushing for progression to just get a little bit better with artifacts as far as glyphs as well. So she's been a good one. You guys saw earlier with Soulbound Boyer. We recently also pulled Tiger Soul. I love how these two look like, that they're in the same neighborhood, right? You can just tell by the war paint, the outfit. The face doesn't change very much. We just added a little skin tone and that was about it. But my girl is looking kind of fabulous. She's been pretty decent. I've actually used her in Faction Wars. So that's where, for this particular account, other than that, guys, her reviews are not great overall, but she's really been a help when you don't have any other champions for Faction Wars. I kind of just slap on gear that I have available to me, and she has allowed for a little progression there. Another champion I've had on a couple of counts is Arcanist. Arcanist is one of those that I'm primarily using for Faction Wars as well. She has really good reviews in the majority of areas on the game. And so because I've used her as food so many times, I'm ashamed. I know. I'm going to get better. I promise. I'm going to get better. I'm thinking about building her out, at least 5-starring her, just to see what she does at this particular point in the game. I think there are certain champions, if you go by the masses, just looking at those creators that are online, you probably would never build them out. But the thing I kind of wonder sometimes is, what does this champion do and how do they build themselves? How do they progress as you and your team begin to progress as well? I have had a lot of pretty decent pulls in this is probably my guy who don't talk about me. I know you look over here, my boy's still naked. Oregon the Jailer, I actually have on more than one account, I do believe. And on one account, I have him 4 or 5-starred. He is a pretty good champion. And this is one of those champions. Does he, deserve an entire review? The answer is probably no. But there are a couple of things that he does within his skill set that are pretty tempting. So just looking really quickly, lockdown is going to be 1. He attacks one enemy, has a 40% chance of removing 1 random buff from the target. He is an attack-based champion. Doesn't require too many books on this first one. I kind of like the second one. Confiscate. Attacks one enemy, has a 40% chance of stealing 2 random buffs from the target. Places an extra hit if any buff is stolen. Number 1, you guys already know with these levels, that's a deterrent. We can only get this down to that good old 3-turn cooldown. I like Confiscate depending on what type of battle and where you are in the game. But for the average player, in Oregon the Jailer is probably not going to be the biggest game changer for you. And then he has Reprisal, attacks one enemy, damage increased by 20% if the target has no active buffs. I can tell you now, as much as I like him, Oregon the Jailer on this particular account will likely be used as food. And the biggest reason why is I've been able to place him on a team with a couple other champions on my other accounts, and he's played a really good role. but I have single attack champions that can do it better. The other thing is you have to be very careful because sometimes you get tempted to go in if you happen to see a soul stone or anything pop up for champions. If you've made it to level 42 and you are tempted to start awakening a champion and then you realize you never use them. They're not being used in any part of the game. So that's another kind of, thing to keep out for. Wagon Bane is another one, a lot of levels, especially when I come here and start looking at how many books something will take. This is a decreased defense type of champion, even though he is attack based. But I mean, a pretty decent kit, a lot of books. He is a single attack kind of champion. I have quite a few of those, so he's not going to hit the highest part of my list to keep. Now, the downfall is these guys are an organ tribe. So the other thing I was thinking about doing is keeping them long enough to just drop some gear on them, run them through faction wars, acquire a couple of glyphs, and then boom. As long as you're not silver strapped, because it comes down to the amount of silver that you have available, that's probably one of your better options as well. Coffin Smasher is another one. This guy has some pretty intensive booking levels. He is a single attack nuker as well. Oh, guys, when we get to level 9, my whole heart just bumps. But this is what is making me thinking, like I've really thought about keeping him a little bit longer. It's because he has HP burn. And on this particular account, and I have to always go back and double check myself, I don't have another champion at the moment that has this particular skill. And so you will find as you go along, HP burn for this one, unfortunately, is stuck to that 4-turn cooldown. There are a lot of drawbacks to Coffin Smasher, but if he is able to create the support and also produce a decent amount of damage, he could definitely be worth it. The other thing is at this point, before I've pulled other champions that can do it a little bit better, he's going to be my best option. And so one of the only reasons that I go in and even lock this particular champion is for that HP burn. Temptress is another one that I pulled. Slice, attacks one enemy. She has flying daggers, which is another one, attacks 4 times at random. Each hit has a 50% chance of placing a leech debuff. If you, for example, have a Kale on your team, if you have Deliana that you've gotten her to a particular point, you will gain those abilities as well. There are a lot of leech champions. And so you can get this down to a 3-turn cooldown. There are a few champions you can get it down to a 2-turn cooldown. So she's not going to be at the top of my list of champions to keep. Other than that, everyone else, I haven't had a chance to really work very much with Grave Chill Killer. I've seen her work in tandem with a few other champions, and it kind of looks interesting, but you can only build out so many. And I think with this particular account, same thing for Channeler is another one that I pulled, who is that single attack champion. I have quite a few of those on this particular account. It's going to come down to who is going to serve me the most. And once I have my top 4, I then branch out to my top 6, and then I focus on like my top 9. Like I'm always thinking top 9 to 12 because that's the number of champions I would need to be able to fill all the slots for Tag Team Arena once that area for you has been unlocked. So with any accounts, you're going back, you're taking a look at not only the champions that are available, but the other thing that I will do later this week is go back through and kind of check the artifacts that I have. Which ones am I willing to sell? Which ones do I have too many dupes of? Which ones are not really appropriate for the champion where they are at this moment? Because this will also allow me to go in and start pushing harder in areas like dungeon and campaign. Guys, if nothing else, everyone that is free to play, we all realize one thing. We spend a lot of time. We spend a massive amount of time in campaign. And I'm not going to keep Zephyr Sniper. I usually purchase Zephyr Sniper just because I see her. I know, I pull her all the time, y'all. I know. And I will build my girl out a couple of times and take her so far in the game. And then I still use her as food, but I will build her out every single time. Anyway, going back to what we were saying, you will notice, if nothing else, guys, the amount of time that you are going to be spending in areas such as campaign, even trying to build up enough stamina to start going through dungeons. I realized the other day that there are some dungeons on my free to play that I have never started. There are a few, most of these I've made it to stage 6. I want to push myself to make it to stage 10 or better. For example, in Dragon's Lair, we've made it to 10. Spider's Den right now has a 2 times event. I'm only on stage 7. Spider's Den can be a big one. All right. This can be a really big one when you're trying to push yourself. And I probably run a battle in that one just to kind of see how we do. Ice Golem has been a really good way for me to kind of gauge how much stronger my team is getting, because this guy smacks. As a boss, I will be honest, across the board, you will sometimes feel like you have your Ice Golem battle in the bag. You're going to win. You get all excited. And then this guy will come out and smack you. And it's like, what just happened? And no idea. Absolutely no idea. Minotaur's Labyrinth is another one. Guys, I'm going to be honest. I was sitting here one night and I was just clicking, just going through, and did not realize that I had actually finished the dungeon. And I get it. Minotaur's Labyrinth is only 15 stages. It is probably one of the easiest dungeons, or one of the first that many of us complete. But I was so excited, so excited. On my pay to play account, I finished Force Keep. I've made it all the way, to that highest level. But out of these 5 dungeons, it has been a really good way to gauge progression overall. It's nice to push through campaign. It's always been nice to be able to kind of see where you are, where you want to go, and what's most important. So I appreciate campaign for that. But when I am going into campaign, I am 120% thinking about how many champions can I build up to the next level to make them worth being farmed. Like, they're going to be the best food that they can possibly be. And we're going to go in and try this battle, because this has been a struggle for your girl, like a huge struggle. I have been tempted to run Mother Superior, and I think, let me just try her. I'm going to run her here. I normally don't run Mother Superior very often. I like her as a champion. I definitely think I could get more out of her as a champion if she had better artifacts. And being able to go deeper in dungeons such as Spider, Dragon's Lair, and Ice Golem, in particular, will definitely make a difference. When you see champions like this, and I'm just kind of looking overall, I don't have an extremely strong support champion that's been easy for me to, kind of slap artifacts on. I like the Miscreated Monster. I know that he has the ability to not only be a really great support champion, but he smacks. Like, he does his due diligence when it comes to attacks. But Spider, I think what makes it a little bit difficult, a lot of people use Eris in this area. I've seen some people that recommend, if you're early game, Zephyr Sniper is another one, because she's readily available. If you build her out the right way, you can speed to a team. If you started with Elhain, if you have Sniper, Eris, Zephyr Sniper, and maybe if you've been lucky enough to pull like Soulbound Boyer, or even the Tiger Bound or Tiger Bun Boyer, the other one we just showed. If you're able to pull them, if you can put them in your best gear and make sure that they are running quick enough, that team has the ability to complete several layers of spider. It's all about the control. Eris is really good at not killing the spiderlings, but basically keeping them at bay. And as you guys can see, my first 2 champions have already gone down on this one, so we are not going to be successful here. I know, Flyja. I see you, girl, all laid out. KL is laid out as well. But Spider has probably been giving me the biggest headache of all. I need the artifacts from this area, if nothing else, but she just doesn't want to give them up. Like, her and the babies don't want to give them up. But you can get champions from a lot of areas. If you have not run Brimstone, for example, if you're looking at trying to maybe get a Diabolus, for example, would be really good with turn meter control. I would love to pull another Marquez. I actually, I got rid of Marquez on accident. I had to make some choices. And I made those choices, and Marquez was just one that had to be sacrificed. Was it worth the sacrifice at the moment? The answer is yes. But do I miss the amount of damage my girl could do for that account? I still miss it. Like, there are some champions that may not be the best at what they do, but they have a hold on you. And Marquez is one of those. I have a video that actually compares Diabolus and Marquez. I can certainly see the difference. I do love Diabolus because she is campaign farmable. I think that makes it more than worth it. I think what I'm going to do, maybe on my Wave Runner account, is all campaign farmable champions. I'm going to run campaign enough to fully book them out and just kind of see what they're doing and what they're up to. A lot of those champions, you will outgrow War Maiden. You will outgrow, so many other champions as you progress through the game. But that one by far is going to be worth it. Now, are these the quickest battles? The answer is no. And as you guys can see, it's as if Spider is telling us we have just not been here, because Homegirls, man, between this turn meter filling and this energy level barely dropping and then refilling itself, I've got to go back and fine tune who's on this team and what I'm able to accomplish with this particular team. Now, I have added in some cases Death Knight. Ultimate Death Knight has been one I've added to a few teams. I absolutely hate seeing him in arena. Guys, I've gotten to the point, I will skip so many teams if they have a fully booked out Ultimate Death Knight. If their Death Knight honestly is above, if they 5-star and above, I'm just, especially we see him fully ascended. You can just imagine that character, that champion, has been fully poured into. You destroy everybody else on the team, and he is there maxing out the turn meter, and you're still getting a defeat. So I've been successful in several battles against Ultimate Death Knight, but it's not going to be the very first team that I select. Now, Mother Superior here is holding on. She is good as far as longevity. I can say that. She's able to hold her own. She's probably been going about a minute or so just by herself. Still defeated on this one. But if you take a look as far as damage, Deliana is giving us 1.2 million, which I don't mind at all. Elhain is way behind at 92,000. My girl should at least be hitting a 500,000 at this point. I really need to go back and kind of look at the artifacts I have on Elhain, for example. Kale should do more. There's no other way to say it. I understand he's 4-star. I know. We're stage 7, but should do more. And Mother Superior is an overall champion, but she's not necessarily the heaviest hitter that I would like. Flyja, I'm still working on getting the artifacts I really, really want for her. And so I'm going to actually go to the Forge real quick and see what else we may have access to. The biggest thing about the Forge, and I think the number one limitation, is most of us, the artifacts and the ingredients, the materials that are needed for the Forge, you're going to still be stuck in these top sets. I run almost everyone in Perception. That's just a given. It's a really good, solid way to run your champions. I'll be honest on that one, especially when you can do 5 and 6-star. I can run a couple of 4-stars, so we'll, I've got some charms built up. I've really been struggling. I know we won't shield. Really kind of struggling with looking at quality gear. These look good. Perception gives you some pretty nice gear. I'll give them that. Your champions are nice. I'm collecting. I am collecting. And I'm pretty sure I have should we go HP or should we go, let's go defense. We go HP so often. And let me just run one more, see what else we can pull. So that makes our clan quest complete. And it's the little things. So if you notice just the little things you're going in to finish those clan quests off, and you're helping not only yourself kind of do, a little bit, go to your clan shop. Every now and then I will forget that this is available. Guys, don't. I'll be honest with you. This is a big one, especially at this point in the game. When you first start playing, probably the first month and a half, you're going to have energy everywhere. If you go into your little chest right now, this is a perfect scenario. This will not always last. You will get to the point where you will literally run through 6 to 8 of these per day easily. And that's kind of the point. We're teeter-tottering. We're at level 39. I would love to push by next week and be at level 42, just so I can get in and show you guys, from the standpoint of this particular account, the entire altar of souls, and start awakening champions on this account in particular. I'm also working kind of hard to keep myself from using shards, of course. Oh, which brings me back to something I mentioned earlier in the video. I want to keep these and see how many Sacred Void and Ancient Shards in particular we're able to get. Those can be pretty interesting. On certain accounts, I'm up for Mystery Shards to over 100. But what I've been doing is gathering up my gems. And each time I make it to a particular level with my gems, I come over to the gem shop. And because I don't have the champions that I really, really want, I've been getting small shard packs. I know. I know. You can get these from so many areas, but it depends on where you're spending the majority of your time. And how I've been spending my time, recently, I have not been pulling a lot of shards. I've been working to go through and 3-star in some areas. Usually I have to come back to my bosses at the very end. I think I'm down to Brimstone trying to obtain all stars with this one. But that's kind of the other one that you're looking at, is what can I do to kind of hit these missions and try to acquire as many shards in between each event as possible. It's going back, especially in campaign, making sure you have 3-star at every level. Looking forward for this particular account to making it to brutal. I definitely know I'll make a lot of leeway as far as XP for that one. I'm going to actually take these gems and likely go into the shop and purchase that XP banner, only because I know I'm fueling myself up and I have the energy to run campaign. When you acquire multi-battles, which is another thing that I tell early game, you're giving multi-battles pretty often. That's something else. When you have that base 30, when you're looking at where should I spend this, really pay attention to what your champions need. Would this be a great time for you to spend more time in, you know, getting those scrolls for masteries? Should you be looking for artifacts? Should you be using those multi-battles for campaign? If you can't really decide, I would recommend rotating through. I start with masteries because I can definitely see the difference in my champions. I know I do a pretty good job of acquiring enough energy as far as arena, but my focus is not arena until I am smack dab out of energy and there's nothing else I can really do in the game. By that point, I usually have enough energy or coins saved up for arena where I can go in and kill a day or so, as I wait for other levels of the game to rebuild. So free to play campaign is going to be the name of the game for a lot of us, just trying to build up and get ready for events in between. If you're keeping up with that monthly calendar that you will sometimes see posted in YouTube and on Discord, for example, for Raid Shadow Legends, you're able to see when the next event is coming up. You can also pick and decide if you would like to chase a fragment summon, for example, or if you just want to continue working in the area to build your team. Guys, with progression, there are always things for you to do. There's always something for you to accomplish. But the biggest thing is for you to always push forward in the direction you know you want to go so that your champions are able to benefit. If you have stuck around this long, I definitely appreciate it. If you are looking for a clan to come and hang out with, we are here for you. Type in 22WK for Wicked Raider 22's clan. We would love to have you participate with us and really get things done. So if you suck around, make sure you subscribe if you have not. We post content every Monday through Friday at 7 a.m. I look forward to continuing the journey with you, and I will talk to you soon.